Denver 7 On Demand is brought to you by Ferguson and BAC Appliance Center, the best in bath, kitchen, and lighting for your home.
I'm Jessica Porter with the latest from Denver 7. The Colorado Court of Appeals has ruled Denver did not have the authority to fire 2 police officers who beat a man outside of a nightclub, then lied about it. Devin Sparks and Randy Murr have been fighting this since 2009, when city cameras caught them throwing a man to the ground and beating him with a club. They originally told supervisors that the man had swung at them. Video showed otherwise. In announcing its decision, the court found that the city broke the rules when it pulled its previous suspension for the officers and replaced it with their termination. Denver leaders are now working out if they can appeal this decision, as well as the amount the officers would be owed if they cannot. Heroin, cocaine, meth, you name it. If you are caught using it, you could wind up with nothing more than a misdemeanor and 3 months in jail. That's the idea behind a new bill trying to change how our Colorado views addiction. Supporters say this will help the vulnerable avoid the vicious cycle that comes with a lengthy prison sentence. Opponents argue it comes with its own set of problems, as Denver 7's Jennifer Kovaleski explains.
Public enemy number 1 in the United States is drug abuse.
It's been almost 50 years since President Nixon declared the war on drugs.
The war on drugs has completely failed.
The system is broken, and this is a way to fix it.
State Representative Leslie Herod wants to drastically overhaul our criminal justice system.
The number 1 driver for our prison population, which is the millions of dollars, is simple possession.
She's sponsoring a bill to defelonize drug possession for all Schedule I and Schedule II substances. We're talking everything: heroin, fentanyl, cocaine. Those caught with small amounts would face misdemeanors instead of felonies.
You don't have that felony hanging over your head, meaning you can't get a job, meaning you can't get housing, and you lose hope.
The whole idea is to keep those struggling with addiction out of prison in favor of treatment.
We're not saying that simple possession is something that you're going to get a slap on the wrist for. 180 days is still 180 days in jail.
Supporters say the program is an effective way to stop arresting away the growing drug problem and save taxpayer money.
It will save Colorado taxpayer dollars, millions and millions of dollars every single year.
The Joint Budget Committee found savings anywhere from $8 to $13 million over the next 5 years. But critics argue it's a dangerous idea that already isn't working in other states like Washington.
They've experienced explosive growth in the homeless population, and they blame it on exactly this moment in time. Violent criminal activity has increased dramatically in Seattle in the years since making Schedule I and II drugs misdemeanors.
El Paso County Sheriff Bill Elder urged lawmakers to vote no during a House committee hearing. He also called the bill a slippery slope.
I urge you to heed the warnings from other communities. I agree with many in my line of work who see what you're about to do as a slap in the face of every single one of us.
Governor Jared Polis has unveiled his next great and ambitious project, making Colorado's healthcare system more affordable. Among the initiatives, requiring hospitals to be more transparent in how they spend their money, outlining out-of-network bills. That's when you go to a hospital or facility believing you're covered, only to learn that someone who treated you doesn't operate within your plan. Weeks later, a bill shows up that you are not responsible for. And finally, installing a reinsurance plan, commonly called insurance for insurance companies. Colorado would create a state fund to help insurers cover high costs. Senator Michael Bennet is thanking his colleagues and others for their well wishes tonight. Providing his treatment for prostate cancer goes well, he could soon be asking them for their support in seeking a higher office. In an interview with the Colorado Independent, Bennet confirms he had made up his mind to run for president before receiving the diagnosis. He will have surgery to remove his prostate gland in the coming weeks, and if he is cancer-free, he is still strongly leaning towards launching a campaign. Tonight, a Thornton man is fighting to stay in the country he's called home for the last 20 years. A crowd turned out today at the ICE office in Centennial to support Arturo Garcia. He arrived in the U.S. in 1999 on a tourism visa. A few years later, he moved to Colorado, started a flooring business, and raised a family. ICE has given him until April 22nd to return to Mexico. His wife spoke with us today through a translator.
Nosotros no venimos a hacer una carga para el país. We didn't come here in any way to be a burden on this country, that we came here to contribute and to really build it up, and that's something that we've done as a family.
Garcia's attorneys are still pushing to stop his deportation. Because he was able to show proof that he does intend to leave the country, ICE will allow him to stay with his family until the deadline comes. It might be the most popular math class in all of our Colorado. Students at Green Mountain High School are doing more than learning geometry. They're putting it to use with their own two hands. Denver 7's Lance Hernandez has the story.
Part of this program is really about building people up in a world that really tries to tear people down. I will strap you in.
Scott Burke is helping teach students how to build a house. It's part of his geometry and construction class that now operates in 500 high schools nationwide.
They understand that in this program, failure is not an option.
When we put it up there, we were like a couple inches off.
Aviana D. Herrera and her classmates
You're only going to need one tape measure.
Are learning firsthand about the importance of precision and the trickle-down effects if something isn't framed correctly.
Make sure you each have a hammer and nails.
They're learning from Michael Daly, a volunteer instructor who taught construction for 24 years at Warren Tech.
Kind of got voluntold to come over and see if I could get involved.
Daly says the kids are learning more than skills.
It teaches young people that this is honorable work. Some of them will go into it, some of them won't. But we kind of need to bring that respect for the trades back.
This project is part of Habitat for Humanity's partnership with the Denver Housing Authority's Accessory Dwelling Unit Pilot Project.
It's an opportunity to provide an income-generating resource to low-income homeowners who might otherwise be at risk of displacement due to rising property costs and tax values.
Qualified homeowners can pay to have a unit placed on their property. The rental income will help pay their mortgage.
I think it's neat that we're actually building something for a cause.
Math teacher Tracy Savina says she's seen a transformation in the students since they began this project. Kids that were shy are now confident.
So you really see this bond form, not just within their teams, but as a class, because they're working towards a common goal of building the house.
Lance Hernandez, Denver 7.
They're doing great work. And from the First Alert Weather Center, here's a look at your forecast. Going to be a really nice day tomorrow for opening day. 68 degrees will be your high. Then we could see some rain on Saturday evening. 65 degrees, 63 Sunday. The 70s return Monday and Tuesday. And then we could get another chance of snow by Wednesday. This has been your Denver 7 On Demand update. Thank you for joining us. Check back here later tonight for another update and download the Denver 7 app for breaking news and alerts. I'm Jessica Porter.